Hello, welcome to Haizhen log day number 62 or log number 62. My name is John. I am the founder of Haizhen, and today I am thinking about finding my voice again. I've been working over the last while to get to a place where I'm feeling like I'm talking to this camera like myself. Sometimes that's a little bit of a challenge, like when you put on a camera, you're suddenly, I keep saying you, but I don't know, maybe you're great on camera. For me, sometimes what I feel is this performance coming on, like, hey, like I need to be something different. I gotta like look a certain way and be a certain way. And even now, I'm working on kind of like getting closer to that voice that almost seems natural. I think that maybe it's almost like where is it a presenter voice that I'm looking for, or is some other type of like YouTube style video voice, or is there something else? This is kind of a log series that's obviously, if it's not obvious, this is kind of all just off the cuff. So without a script, if I'm able to talk almost like in that way, is that something that people want? Or maybe a better question is that what I want? Because after all, it's all about me right now. Like this is my video. I'm sitting here in my room all by myself. I actually have the house to myself today, which is really nice. It's almost a rare occurrence. So when I'm thinking about finding my voice, I think that it comes across in a number of different places, and especially when you move into new spaces. When I first became a pharmacist, there was an adjustment period of like, okay, like how do I do this thing, right? Like how do I talk to patients, how to talk to other staff, other professionals, things like that. And that actually was a little bit closer because there was placements. I would do placements in other pharmacies as well as like practice within the curriculum. So then when you go out and actually do the pharmacist thing, it's pretty close one to one. When I became a hypnotist, there was another like moment of finding my voice. And really that question was like, how do I begin bridging the life that I have as a pharmacist in healthcare with the life that I am being born into now as a hypnotist? I came out of a 5-day architecture of hypnosis training in Toronto. And at the end of it, I was feeling like I am a hypnotist. And at that point, I came out, and now in my head, it was almost like I'm a pharmacist and a hypnotist, and I'm the same person, and I'm both of those things all at once. I began to see problems differently. I began to listen and hear people differently because of all of those things that I knew. But then being in that context of healthcare, I was like a little bit lost of like, how do I start kind of utilizing this? And it was very much like switching modes, which was um, sometimes I'm a pharmacist and then sometimes I'm a hypnotist and I'm doing hypnosis. One of my favorite stories is right after the training, I came back and I saw one of my pharmacists, and they were working at the table, and I noticed that one of her arms was not working as well. And apparently, she had been going through some nerve pain and couldn't move her arm fully. So then I said, hey, like I did this hypnosis thing, I can help you out. Would you like to? So in the middle where there was a lull, we sat down, had a bit of a session, and I worked with her as as a hypnotist. So rather than as her boss or rather than as another pharmacist, it was like, okay, now I'm entering into this like hypnotist frame, the context of being a hypnotist. And the work was great. We went through, we had a session, and at the end, what I noticed was usually she would be talking with both hands. When I came in, it was just one because the other hand wasn't working properly. And then both arms began to move again. I was like seeing these changes before my eyes, and I was blown away. And I really wanted to meld those two worlds together. So over time, what happened was I began to find ways of integrating that hypnotist identity in with my personal identity. And I was able to interact with people much more directly and specifically as me, rather than saying like, hey, I'm this person right now. I'm like John the friend. Now I'm John the husband or the father. And now I'm John the pharmacist, and now I'm John the hypnotist, all of these different people. And it's when you get into new roles, whether it's a new work role, a new life role, a lot of times it feels like what am I doing here? And sometimes I think it ties in with imposter syndrome. where it's like imposter syndrome, I think, is more of like, I'm not good enough to do this. I don't necessarily doubt that I can do this. What is weird is just the experience of actually doing it. Like, I've tried actually like writing out scripts and reading off of a teleprompter, and that's its own thing to learn. And that's a little bit weird. Maybe one day I'll get to that because, or maybe one day I will incorporate that in because I don't know. Do people like that? Let me know down in the comments below. Do you like people talking on teleprompters and reading out scripts to you? Or would you prefer like this kind of stream of consciousness, kind of like wandering and meandering through a specific thought? So part of finding my own voice is I do love to take tangents. I do love to start on topics, move all the way around, and then bring it all back together at the same time, or at the end, right? And sometimes because of that, I can go on way too many tangents. So one of the things that I noticed actually is when I was looking back at the different videos that I had made, there was a lot of things in there. It was almost like kind of jumping around to every single topic. And while I think that all that information is valuable, when I listen back to it, I'm like, oh yeah, like I can kind of like jive with this. And at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm like, does anybody want to actually listen to this? And I think that there's two things. There's two things that I thought about, which is one, there's somebody who wants to listen to everything. There's something for everyone, which is another way of saying that. So yes, there's probably people who will listen through this and potentially listen all the way through. That's actually a small win that I had. I noticed that I had posted one of my videos up onto Substack, and the analytics, it had one view, but the one view was like all the way through from beginning to end. So I don't know if the person clicked the link and fell asleep, but either way, I took it to like, wow, this is pretty amazing. And I don't need to know. I don't need to know why. Because just the same way as if people drop off the video at 1 minute in, I also don't need to know why. The thing is, I've done it. So that's one thing that I was thinking of. And now that I've talked for some time and went on a small tangent, I've forgotten what the second thing was. But really my point today is thinking about finding my voice and what that means. And part of that is identifying the visual identity of this particular brand. Right now, it's really just really utilizing the space that I have to kind of, before I was using the space that I had and it wasn't really carefully considered or very much intention put into it. Now I'm starting to move towards this, right? So like you'll see that there's space for various different things. Like this thing that I bought here, and you would have noticed over on this wall, the partner picture, I had for maybe almost a year, and it was just sitting either on the side of my office or somewhere in the hallway. It might have even showed up in one of the other videos. If you see that video and you take it down below, I'll give you a gold star. But this thing was sitting on my floor for so long, and I wanted to put it up, but I didn't know where. And now that I've moved things around, created some space, now it's there. And now it becomes part of this visual voice that I'm putting together. Because one of the things that I always think about, talk about, and teach about is the idea of duality. So we have day over here and night over there, kind of a beginning and an end. I love when things come together like that. It just gives me this little... So now I'm here, I'm feeling much more comfortable in terms of like talking on video and sharing a specific message. And that's something that I will continue to do with these videos, to bring you, in these videos, my own reflections of my process. And hopefully this will give you some motivation, or to know that you're not alone. If you are out there working on your own YouTube video, working on your own courses, working on even like a business that you want to get out there, it's challenging because change sometimes can feel very hard. Change can feel hard because it's something that's new, where you're moving into an unknown. Like all of this, I'm moving into an unknown. Like even though I've changed, I've cleaned up this office, I've made some notes to talk and kind of keep myself on track for these videos, I don't know what the result is. I won't know for another 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And even then, the video might not pop off or get any views for months and months and months. Who knows? So I'm going to surrender into the process and continue to work on finding my own voice. I feel that it's become much more natural to talk on this platform and to kind of organize my thoughts in a way that lead towards something. The other thing that I was also thinking about was, how am I going to do that thing where people do on YouTube where they're like, oh, something, add a comment below, or like and subscribe for more, or watch this other video, and that type of thing. And I've kind of found a way of making it feel a little bit more natural for me. So if you enjoyed this conversation so far, please like and subscribe, follow along over the next while. I've been posting videos daily, and if that kind of like pisses you off that you get that notification every day, you could just turn off the notifications and come back and watch these videos when the time is right. One of the things that I've realized in this process of finding my own voice is that other people have their own unique voices as well, and unique voices as well as self-expression. So I love that idea of accepting other people for the voice that they bring in, for who they are, and this is where I'm going to lean into accepting myself for exactly the way that this is turning out right now. So I'm going to end off this video with a question for you, and that question is, when you're talking, who is it? Is it you, or is it a performance of you? Let me know down in the comments below if you have any thoughts on that. And until next time, thank you for your cooperation.